So prior to 2022, which is almost coming on 3 years now, I didn't know exactly the knowledge that I needed to have an adequate nutrition and have the nutrition required for me to burn body fat and build muscle at the same time. I was in the gym for numerous years prior to that. I've been in the gym for a great portion of my life, about 2 decades. Yeah, about 2 decades, and I've always been familiar with working out. I never had the nutrition, thus I struggled with bringing my body fat percentage down in order to see the real definition in my physique. So the mass was there, the muscle was there, but there was just a lot of body fat that was covering the definition. And as I got older, it was something that I struggled with. I really wanted to bring it down and I just couldn't figure how. And I started looking at all these people and saying, how are they having cuts in their physique, so much definition? How are they getting their six pack? Like, I just couldn't see my six pack. I knew it was there, but it was hidden under the fact I was covering it. And I figured if I go to the gym more and lift more, or if I did mad cardio in the gym running on that treadmill, I would be able to see it, not knowing that I was making myself a smaller human being. Therefore, it was something I struggled with for a while. And then I came across some individuals who had the knowledge on nutrition, introduced me to the knowledge of introduced me to the knowledge of nutrition, and I took that and I ran with it and I never looked back. I was able to change my physique in 6 months, more than I had over the last decade. And I was seeing real definition. I was seeing myself get lean. I was looking like an African god in the flesh, a Greek god, you could say as well. And now anywhere I go, people ask me, what is it that you do for your physique? How you have a great physique? What's your nutrition like? What do you do? Anywhere I go and people see the physique, they ask me. So I want to teach you how to create a nutrition structure. That's what's benefited me. That's what keeps me lean, or keeps me in the best shape of my life all year round. I'll never be out of shape another day in my life unless I decide to, or there's a physical inability that's occurred with me. And once you have that knowledge, it's something that you could do too. So if you're looking to change your physique, if you've been in the gym working for a long time and you're not seeing real definition, bringing that body fat percentage down, seeing your abs, getting rid of back fat, belly fat, arm fat, all of that, I'm going to teach you a nutrition structure that would allow you to do it, and one that you could apply to in a busy schedule if you're a busy individual, because those are who I target and work with the most. Okay, so without any long talking, that might have been a long intro, but I'm going to get straight into it. What we're talking about today is a nutrition structure, okay? You need to create a nutrition structure. I always talk about a nutrition structure. Quay, what is a nutrition structure? So a nutrition structure, to me, that I have made it out to be, is the structure, as it says, the structure of your nutrition. Therefore, it's what you eat on a day-to-day basis. It's like the most constant food, consistent food that you have in your structure. Monday, Sunday to Saturday, what most likely are you going to be eating consistently? All right. Then you have your nutrition structure. This is what's going to keep you in shape, or keep you with the ideal physique, or allow you to get to the ideal physique. And then you could go outside of your nutrition structure. That's when you have snacks. That's when you have, maybe you go out for the weekend, you have a couple of drinks. You have some of the stuff that you like candy or sweets or anything like that. But if you're going out every weekend and you're having alcohol, that is part of your nutrition structure. Just because you do Sunday to Saturday and you don't do alcohol, just because you do Sunday to Friday and don't do alcohol, then go out on the weekend and do alcohol. If it's like that every week, if there's a pattern in it, that becomes your nutrition structure. So your nutrition structure right now is what's holding you back from being where you want to be. You need to adjust your nutrition structure. So we're going to talk about that today. The first thing, okay. Actually, I should have okay. Anyways, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is accustomed to your nutrition structure. Okay? So I have a custom to me nutrition structure. My custom to me nutrition structure is I have eggs for breakfast, turkey bacon, egg whites, maybe sometimes some fruits, a little bit of cheese, bell peppers. That's my breakfast, Sunday to Sunday. My lunch, quinoa, um, quinoa, chicken breast, black beans, and my dinner is like a ground turkey and a mixed salad and some Parmesan cheese. Okay, so that's my nutrition structure. I know the calories, I know the macros for that. It keeps me with my protein high, it keeps me with my calories low for me to see the definition in my body that I like. I know if I stay with this custom to me nutrition structure that I will always look somewhat like this. Okay, my body is not automatically randomly just gonna gain a lot of fat or gain 10 pounds, 5 pounds if I stay with this nutrition structure. So I'm constantly knowing that this is what keeps me where I want to be. That's why the nutrition structure is important. So when you're creating your nutrition structure, you want to think about, ideally, you want to think about your calories. Okay. You got to find out your total daily energy expenditure, and then you want to be below that. So you need to figure that out first. If you don't know how to do that, you're going to go to tdee.net, TDEE calculator or TDEE.net, and you're going to figure out your total daily energy expenditure. Then you're going to eat either negative 500 or negative 250 below that. Now it depends on how much body fat you have. If you have a lot of body fat, you're going to go with the first one, and it's going to be negative 500. If you have minimal body fat and you're looking to put on more muscle, then you're going to go with 250. And then strength training is going to be your primary focus when it comes to your fitness. So then once you know your total daily energy expenditure, I checked mine a couple of days ago. It was 2,700 or 2,600, something like that, right? And I'll give you I'll give you guys a key. What I always do is I always stay in a deep deficit. What that does is it affects my workouts a little bit. I'm a little bit less stronger than I would be if I ate more. However, it allows me to stay very lean and have snacks here and there that I like. Okay, so that's the key that I do. I stay in a deep deficit and I hit my macros all the time. I could go to 250. But then I would have less leeway for having snacks and sweets. I have a sweet tooth, okay? I just have a sweet tooth. That's it. It's never going anywhere. All right. So now that you know your calories, once you know your calories, your TDEE, once you know what that number is, let's say, so for me, I said the other day it was like 2,700. Right, you're gonna have below 500 of this, so 27 minus 500. Then you're gonna be your calorie deficit is gonna be at 2,200. You don't want to pass. You cannot afford to pass 2,200 if you're looking to lose weight and bring your body fat percentage down. Okay, so that's a 500 calorie deficit a day times 7, 3,500. That's 1 pound at the end of the week. Or you could do negative 250 if your body fat is not that high. So once you know your total daily expenditure, 2,700, you know you're going to be in a caloric deficit of 500 or negative 250, depending on the body fat percentage you have, higher or lower. Then you've come up with your calorie deficit. Which is now 2,200. Okay, so now from Sunday to Sunday, you don't want to eat past 2,200 if you're looking to lose weight. That's what you have to stay executing. 2,200 calories maximum. So now that you know that, you want to focus on your macros, right? And I'm not going to get too deep into the numbers for macros. We can get into that later. But we know that we have protein, we have carbs, and we have fats. Excuse my writing, it's not the best, but you get the point. All right. So now we want to think about remember, we're focusing on our nutrition structure. So for protein, you want to think about the protein. Remember, you need to have a high protein intake, especially for body recomp. Essential that you have a high protein intake. If you don't have a high protein intake, you're not going to be able to simultaneously burn fat and build muscle at the same time. Give me a second. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go in here and you want to start putting the proteins that you like or you could have, right? I like eggs. Egg whites is crucial because it's very minimal in fat and just high lean protein. Egg whites, okay. Chicken, okay? Turkey, etc. Dot, dot, dot. Again, excuse the writing. It's very hard to write this way. And I'm going to get a bigger board eventually. So you put the foods here that you like for protein and you don't mind having consistently. Put your favorite protein, your favorite meals. You're going to do the same for carbs. Now, you're not just doing any type of proteins or any type of carbs or any type of fats. You're doing the most optimal to give you the results that you want to achieve. So for protein, protein's the building block of muscle. You want to have proteins that are lean and don't have as much fat in them, right? So it depends on your goal. If you're looking to put on some weight, you would do ground beef as opposed to ground turkey, because ground turkey is more lean. There's less fat in it. All right. Chicken breast, less fat. Tuna, that's something as well. You know what I'm saying? Tuna with the tuna in the water. But if you're looking to put on weight, you could do tuna in that has a little bit of the oil in it. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to carbs now, you want to do complex carbs, right? So you want to have things like, if it's a pasta, whole wheat. Whole wheat pasta. If we're going to do rice, we're going to do a brown rice. Oh, my writing is horrendous. Right? Quinoa, which also has a lot of protein. Okay? These are, you could do sweet potato. It's getting so difficult to write like this. Sweet pea, sweet potato, okay? These are complex carbs. These are foods that are going to take longer to break down in your body, and they're going to stay there for longer. So when you complex carbs, when you have refined carbs, if you're not aware, refined carbs are things like juice, fruits, right? You want to make sure you're having your fruits and vegetables. Very essential, right? Fiber, high in fiber. When you're on a weight loss journey, you want to make sure that you're increasing your protein. You're having a good amount of fiber as well. Okay, that's going to keep you fuller, keep you satiated for a long time. Crave your cravings for sweet things. But like I was saying, the complex carbs are going to give you energy and they're going to keep you full. You need energy throughout your day, especially if you're a busy professional. You need to make sure that you're having that energy and you're not crashing through your day while you're being productive. When it comes to fats, olive oil, okay? So when I'm bulking, I use olive oil when I'm making my eggs. But when I'm not bulking, I'll use avocado oil, right? Because it's less in fat when I'm trying to cut. Right now, I like being really lean. I'm not looking to put on any more size really, just maybe a little bit of muscle. So I'm staying with avocado oil right now. Olive oil, that's embarrassing. Avocados. It's getting so hard to write in this stage. Okay. Fatty fish. Okay, salmon, any type of fatty fish you could have. All right, salmon, cod. I don't even know all the fishes, but I do like salmon. And there was a fish that I had the other day, and I thought it was really good. Okay, so when you're thinking about your nutrition structure, you're gonna break down your macros. You're gonna look for the foods that you like the most. Then you're gonna say, okay, these are the foods I want to have on a consistent basis. After you've had it for a while, if you want to swap it out, you can swap it out. Really, I stay with what works for me, and I make that again. Nutrition structure is so that we can be consistent. Consistency. Consistency is key when it comes to body recomp. Okay, no consistency. I mean, consistency is key in everything, but especially when it comes to body recomp, you have to be consistent with your nutrition structure and your strength training, because you're doing two things that are like polar opposites, but you're making them happen simultaneously. So consistency is super key in there. All right. So once you find out your macros, the foods that you like, then you create, what can I have in a manner that I can be consistent with and that works with my schedule. I meal prep. Okay. Meal prep is key. In my program, I give my clients meal plans with meal prep so that they can cook once in the week and not have to cook every single day, which gains them back more time for work in the week, whatever it may be that they want to spend that extra time doing. Okay. Meal prep is key as well. So you want to make sure that you are meal prepping on, let's say, whatever day of the week. I'm doing eggs, egg whites, chicken breast, turkey. That's what I'm doing personally. I'm doing that on Sunday. For my carbs, I'm doing quinoa. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm doing quinoa. I'm doing black beans, which I didn't put here, but black beans. Those are my carbs. Guys, those are and salad. So a little bit of vegetables. Those are my carbs in the day, right? You don't need too much food, right? We've all been lied to. And for my fats, what am I doing for my fats? I'm doing avocado oil, and some fats are coming from the eggs, and minimal fat from the ground turkey, right? There's not a lot there. So my fats, what else am I doing my fats from? Avocado oil, the ground turkey, a little bit of fat from the eggs, the cheese. Sorry, I forgot cheese. Okay. I do the cheese, and then I also do Parmesan cheese. So that's how you create a nutrition structure that's custom to you. All right. It's gonna make things simple, and I'll tell you why it's important. It's important because when you abide by this on a weekly basis, then you could step outside of your nutrition structure here and there, have something that you like on a weekend. And remember, you're not making a pattern of this. You're having this once in a while here and there. No pattern. There shouldn't be a pattern. It's sporadic. Then you jump back into your nutrition structure, and you're going to be able to keep the weight that you are at, because you're eating in a deficit all the time. So if I go out today and I have Popeyes and I have my 3-piece with my large fries and a bottle of water, like I have occasionally, it's okay, because that one day I'm definitely going to be in a surplus. I'm definitely going to pass my total daily energy expenditure. But the rest of the week in that deficit, I'm losing 3,500 calories. All right. So even if my Popeyes, which it's not going to be because that's crazy, even if my Popeyes meal was 3,500 calories, for that 1 week, I didn't lose a pound. It's nothing drastic. So this is how you create a nutrition structure. Okay. Now pay attention right now to these macros that I listed: eggs, egg whites, chicken, turkey for protein, complex carbs, whole wheat, pasta, fruits, veggies, brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes, fats, olive oil, avocado, fatty fish, cheese. There's something in there that you don't see. There's something that you don't see in there at all, right? And that's what we're going to get into next. Okay. All right. So next we're going to talk about minimize sugar intake. In that nutrition structure that I told you guys about, there was no sugar in there at all. And I was telling my mom the other day, I'm like, we were talking about tea, and she said she has to bring down her sugar. And I was like, yeah, just, don't have sugar be part of your nutrition structure. Do I eat sugar? Yes, I'm eating some chocolate almonds right now, right? But that's not part of my nutrition structure. I can't even remember the last time I had that. It wasn't even this year. Ha ha ha, the year just started. It's February. But minimize sugar intake. Take that out of your nutrition structure. I didn't have it in there at all. And that's going to allow you to see some drastic results. You're going to go down in body fat crazily. For me, what was keeping me with a higher body fat percentage, with a higher percentage of body fat, was carbs. My carbs were too much. I was literally eating healthy, but my portion of my carbs were too much, and the sugar. When I was a kid, I used to drink a lot of juice. Like, juice was religious. Like, I would leave wherever I'm at to go get some juice, right? Juice was eliminated out of my nutrition structure. I don't drink juice like that. You will not see juice in my house. I do drink Canada Dry when I'm sick or here and there. Canada Dry is amazing, but again, that's not even part of my nutrition structure. So minimize your sugar intake. When you're making food, you don't need sugar. What do you need sugar for? What are you making with sugar, right? I think in my previously, when I was making a different version of my chicken breast, I was making a grilled barbecue pineapple chicken breast. So a little bit of sugar was coming from the barbecue sauce and the pineapple juice. That was the most sugar that I was having in my week, right? And remember, I'm cooking on Sunday and it's lasting me till the next Sunday. So whatever amount of sugar I'm putting there and on Sunday, we got to break that down and divide that by 7. It was very minimal. But now that's not even there. Now I make a Cajun chicken breast and there's no sugar in it. So if I don't step outside of my nutrition structure and go have something sweet that I like or something that I want to enjoy, I'm actually not even having sugar at all in the whole week. So what do you think that's doing for my physique? It's keeping my insulin levels low, right? It's keeping my body fat percentage low. It's not giving me crashes throughout the day where like I'm fiending for that next fix of sugar because my insulin is spiking. It's great. And you all know that when you bring your sugar level intake down, you're able to see more weight loss. You're able to see body fat go down. You're able to see increase of energy. It's that sugar that's addictive. It's that crack, right? So that's what you got to figure out. But maybe you could do it over a slow period of time. I just realized like once I started taking it out, I didn't need it. I didn't need it. When you're eating breads that are not whole wheat, just regular bread that has sugar in it, eliminate bread and have whole wheat bread, right? Because the fiber intake is higher and it'll take longer to break down in your body. So this is another essential key. Don't have sugar in your nutrition structure if it's possible. I don't know what you make your foods. I don't know what foods you make that include sugar, right? But if you could find a way to take out that sugar or switch it for something that doesn't need sugar, then you can have your sugar outside of your intake. Like I said earlier, I do have sugar sometimes, right? I love a McFlurry from McDonald's in the summertime or, you know, when I can put my hands on it. And that's about 200, 300 calories. You know, I equate all of this into my calorie intake of the 2,600. But that's not part of my nutrition structure, right? So because I have a good nutrition structure, I'm in a deficit of negative 500 or 250. I'm staying below that. I'm doing that Sunday to Sunday. If I step out and go have a McFlurry, then I'm still in a calorie deficit because I'm in a calorie deficit of negative 500 and that McFlurry is like 200, 300 calories. So that's what you want to do, okay? If you want to be able to have things, that's how people stay losing weight. That's how people stay burning fat and building muscle, but still are able to enjoy foods that they like. You need to have a custom to you nutrition structure that you're abiding by. If you're just freestyling your meals here and there, it's not going to work. I promise you. People want to freestyle. You can't freestyle when it comes to your fitness journey. Eliminate that. You're not even a rapper, so just stop that. All right? Next thing we're going to talk about is a grocery list, okay? I was talking to my homegirl a while back and she was telling me she loves the meal plan that I have her on because she knows what to get in the grocery store and she's not just going there and grabbing anything. And I can't remember when I started grocery shopping, to be honest. I can't remember that far back, so I can't remember how it was prior to that. But if people just go into the grocery store today and you just shop and buy food, stop that. Just stop that. That's big back behavior. Like, stop. You need to have a plan in anything. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? And when you go into the grocery store, they're going to have all these colorful items and all these sales. They're going to be jumping at you and they're going to be like, hey, look at me, look at me. They're going to want you to buy them. You go into the grocery store needing one thing, you come out with 10 things. And 8 of those things are not even foods that are going to benefit you in any way. They're just going to make you, they're BTB, right? I don't know if you guys know about the BTB. I introduced BTB, beautiful tasting bullshit. And it's okay to indulge in beautiful tasting bullshit from here to there, but what is that doing for your well-being over time? All right? So walk into the store with a grocery list. You want to go into the produce. You want to make sure that you're getting your vegetables, your fruits. Then you want to be in the protein section. You want to make sure that you're getting your protein. You want to make sure your carbs are not refined carbs. Refined carbs are usually the aisles in the middle of the grocery store. That's where they have all the BTB, all the beautiful tasting bullshit. You want to stay far away from that. The juices, the chips, those are always going to be on sale because they want you to grab that. You're damaging yourself. And if you walk into the grocery store without a plan, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, my favorite chips are on sale. Let me grab that. Boom. Now you have that in. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. I have to get this. Boom. Now you grab that. You put it in there. And then this is looking good over there with the beautiful colors and the way they rearranged it. You never seen it in that section before. So it's like, you know, I know I like that. You know, let me just grab that real quick and put it in the bag. Next thing you know, next week your stomach is getting bigger, bigger, bigger. And you're just getting bigger. You know, you're not being the version of yourself that you know that you should be. I was talking to someone on a call inquiring about my program, and they said they've been struggling for like 10 years on bringing their belly fat down, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger, and they're working out, right? But the day-to-day schedule that they have at work is super busy. They eat super late, no structure with their nutrition, no structure with their workout, all because they have a busy schedule. And he kept saying, I'm just getting bigger and bigger. But I'm getting the workouts in though. But he's getting bigger and bigger. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be in the best shape of your life, right? So if there's anything you take away from this specific category right here is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So have a grocery list. I always have my grocery list when I go in the grocery store. I know exactly what I'm getting. I know how much my bill is for my groceries on average. I spend about $150, in between $125 to $150 bi-weekly on my groceries altogether. Okay? That's because I know what I'm going to get. I know what's going to keep me lean. I know what's going to keep me in shape. Now, it might be different. You might have kids. You might have other people you're grocery shopping for. Listen, do the work. Figure out what that grocery list requires so that you know these are the optimal foods that I need to keep my energy high, that I need to incorporate for me to burn fat and build muscle, because we're talking about body recomposition here, and for me to be lean and see my abs. All right. If you're eating a lot of refined carbs and chips and candies 24/7, that's not going to allow you to do that. I do eat candy. I do eat sweets. I have a sweet tooth. But when I take off my shirt, you see my six pack, right? So don't be like, oh, how come he's doing that and I can't do it, or he's telling me not to do that. We don't see your six pack. That's the first thing at first. We don't see your six pack. There's a lot of body fat on you that you got to get rid of. So what you're doing can't be what I'm doing, right? Because I'm doing something that's giving me the result that you want. And I'm telling you, that's because I have a nutrition structure that's custom to me. That's because I go into the grocery store with a grocery list. That's because I stay in a consistent deficit. So it allows me to jump out of it sometimes, out of my nutrition structure, and have something that I like and come back and still be in the best shape of my life, still be ideal, still be sexy, still have people inquiring about what I do to have this physique everywhere I go. That's what I want for you. All right. So make sure you have a grocery list when you're walking into the grocery store. You know everything that you're going to get. Therefore, and this will take us into our next cycle. So I'll go into the next one. Follow the 80-20 rule. I didn't say 50-50. I didn't say 20-30. I didn't say 10-90. 80-20 rule. What that is that you have 80% of whole foods, and then 20% foods you enjoy. And even when I'm saying you can have 20% of foods you enjoy, it doesn't mean every single week you have to fill up that 20%. Sometimes have 10% and have 90% whole foods. I feel so accomplished when I go into a store, a grocery store, or bulk barn, more specifically, and I don't grab something sweet. I'm like, yes, you conquered that battle today. Because man, that sweet tooth, like when I walking into a bulk barn as a person with a sweet tooth, you're fighting a battle every single time. Like literally, if you know, you know. If you don't know, it's going to be hard for you to know. So, but then I leave that situation, and I'm like, okay, cool, I saved myself on some body fat this week. I got even more further in my execution with my nutrition and with my strength training. That's what I want for you. So you don't always have to fill up to 20%, but you can, all right? And you can only do this if you have a grocery list, like the prior what we were talking about, having a grocery list, so you know 80%. And you don't have to plan for your 20% of foods you enjoy. If you want to, you can. But when you're focused more on the 80%, the whole foods, then that means like when you're going and you're doing your groceries, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I want a bag of chips. It's one bag of chips. You're allowing yourself to have 1-2 items that you like for the week. That's okay. Again, it's about balance, right? I'm not telling you to be extreme. I could go extreme. Like, the thing about me, even though I have a sweet tooth, I could turn it off. If I want to like lock in and say I'm not having any sweets for 30 days, I could do that. And sometimes I do that just to reset, right? My sweet tooth and my sweet addiction was something that I was unaware of as a child. Now I'm aware of it, and I don't ever think it's going to disappear, but I control it as opposed to when it was controlling me. I had to have juice. I was a juice addict, right? But now I control it. I say when I'm gonna have sweet things or when I'm not gonna have sweet things. When I went into Bulk Barn earlier this week, I didn't grab anything, and all these things were saying, "Grab me, grab me." I was like, "Nah, shut up. Don't you see I'm sexy? Don't you see I'm in the best shape of my life? Why are you talking to me like that? Get out of here." And that's what I want you to do. All right. So 80-20 rule is you're going and you're having. Let's say you eat clean the whole week, Sunday to Sunday, you're staying in your nutrition structure, and then your friends say, hey, let's go out on Friday night to have some drinks, or let's go out and to a restaurant. You know, just be mindful of that 20%. Don't go crazy at that restaurant and override everything you've done for that week. But you know, you deserve this. If you stayed in this from Sunday to Friday or Sunday to Thursday, you stayed in there. But listen very carefully. A lot of people fuck this up right here in the 20%, and they override everything they've done for the whole week. You don't want to do that. It's very easy for you to consume calories very quickly while you're having foods you enjoy, the 20%. It's very easy. You need to be mindful. That's why I was saying don't always fill up the 20%, because you could be thinking you're filling up the 10% and it's 20%. Right? Depending on how aware you are of calorie counting and tracking and things of that nature. If you want to be super efficient, you'll track. But I know tracking is not for everybody. It's tedious. It's a lot of work. So just stay making sure that this is 80 to 90 and keep this 10 to 20. And if you have a nutrition structure, talking about these 4 things that we talked about, creating a custom nutrition structure to you, minimizing sugar, going into the grocery store with a grocery list, and following this 80-20 rule, then you are going to be able to burn fat and build muscle. Granted, you're strength training in the gym and you're lifting heavy, progressively overloading. You're getting an adequate amount of rest. You're doing cardio, low intensity, steady state, whether it be walking or on the treadmill. You're having a high protein intake like we talked about over here. If you do these things, you're going to be able to have a successful body recomp. What's the key ingredient that you need that I talked about earlier that was here? It's that consistency. All right. So I'm not telling you to do all of these things 1 week out of the month and then the next 3 weeks you're freestyling. Or I'm not telling you to do the 1 month out of the 12 months in the year and then the other months you're freestyling and you go back to it when you want. The thing about when you do this is you're going to see results. And when you see results, it's going to act as a motivating factor for you to continue and to keep on doing what you're doing. If you measure yourself, like in my coaching program, I have my clients weigh in themselves and do a weekly transformation login 1 day in the week. And when they follow the structure, they see change in the scale, in their measurements, how they feel, and they're motivated to keep on going. And I remind them when they start to fall off or slack, like, hey, you remember what was happening when you were following everything to a T. You want that result. That's bringing us to where you want to go. Let's keep doing that. And they're like, yeah, you're right. And they know it. I'm not telling them to do something that they're unaware of or they've never experienced. They know, right? Muscle memory. So this is how you're going to create the nutrition structure that you need to be in the best shape of your life. This is something that I wish I knew way earlier, because I would have had this physique way earlier, but everything happens for a reason. Everything takes time. This has been my experience with my nutrition. Shout out to the people that gave me the knowledge that I needed to become the version of who I am today. I want you to be in the best shape of your life because it's so important. The amount of respect I get, the amount of people that want to talk to me, that give me opportunities just off of my look, my energy, my vibe. I really want you to experience that in your life. People are nicer to you. You get more opportunities. You can be more qualified at a job, right? Someone can be more qualified at a job and you can get it just because of how you look, how you interact with yourself, the attention you demand and you command, the respect you demand, all of that. It all plays a role in how people treat you, how you live your life. I want you to experience that to the fullest potential in this lifetime that you're alive. That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm a body recomposition specialist, helping busy professionals get into the best shape of their lives by burning fat, building muscle, increasing energy. And that's why I show you how to implement discipline, structure, and consistency into your life, into your health and wellness, so that it can spill over into other aspects of your life. So hopefully you found this to be helpful. Again, this has been my personal experience. I know without a doubt it'll work for you. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. This is some information. If you made it to the end of this video, then you're somebody who really wants to make a difference, and I commend you in making it to the end of this video. And you will be rewarded if you follow the structure that I gave you, without a doubt. If you want some one-on-one coaching, or you want someone, an expert that can implement this into your life for you, so you don't have to do the tedious guesswork like I had to do in the beginning, then you can fill out my coaching application in the description, and we'll see if you're a good fit for the program. I'll have to do an interview with you. I'll have to see how dedicated you are, because I don't take on just anybody. I have a limited amount of capacity that I work with. I like to have a relationship with the clients that I work with, okay? It's a relationship-based brand that I have. So if that's something that interests you, or you're interested in, or you want to learn more about, fill out the application and we can talk about that. Other than that, thank you for being here. Thank you for learning. Thank you for allowing me to teach you my experience. And I'll catch you in the next episode. You already know what it is.